Super League is going to present you with the top 24 athletes on the planet. The fittest men on earth, racing for one of the biggest prize purses ever seen in triathlon history.
The distances are all different, the formats are different, it's kind of anyone's game.
Testing an athlete's ability to swim, bike and run. Pain is an understatement. What these men are going to suffer on this course will be amazing to witness.
It's going to be really tough. I mean, not just the elements, obviously the hills, humidity.
No one's really safe out there in these kind of conditions.
The mindset is going to be prepared for pain.
For sure it's going to be tough, that's all we know. We just try to go as hard as we can and try to beat the others.
It's going to be new and it's going to be exciting.
Everyone will enjoy it, have a great time, the racing will be good and people enjoy watching it.
It is the Champions League of triathlon.
Welcome to hot and humid Hamilton Island in tropical North Queensland for this weekend, the home of Super League Triathlon. We are in day 2. Chris McCormack and Emma Frodino join me. And Chris, how good was day 1?
Oh, day 1's triple meet was absolutely epic. It upset the established current order of world triathlon. Wonderful to see.
We saw some pain faces yesterday, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what day 2 of the Equalizer brings.
There is plenty going on at Super League Triathlon. Let's have a look right now at what it's all about. Swim, bike, run. That's triathlon. But what if it was more than that? What if it was faster, more tactical, more variable, more painful? What if it was Super League? Sure, this is triathlon, but it's also something you have never seen before. Races won as much in the mind as they are in the legs. New formats, new faces, new destinations, and the same bitter rivals. Only the very best have been awarded Super League contracts. Dual Olympic gold medalist Alistair Brownlee is here.
All the 3 days are different and something that I've never done before.
As is 5-time world champ Javier Gomez.
It's a totally new format. For sure it's going to be tough, that's all we know.
And current ITU world title holder Mario Mola.
The course looks very nice, but very tough as well.
Add in specialists from across the multi-sport arena and a host of young Aussies intent on making their mark on home soil.
It's going to be new and it's going to be exciting, but it's going to be tough.
Yesterday we saw the pain of the triple mix. 3 stages mixing the discipline order and causing havoc. The best known name in triathlon has been lapped here at Hamilton Island. Today it's time to back up and face the Equalizer. A 6-kilometre time trial on the bike with every second lost to be paid in a 5-leg sprint. And tomorrow, well, you better bring your tactics for the Eliminator. Again, 3 stages, but this time it's keep up or go home.
These guys don't do anything in second gear. It'll be flat out, start to finish. It'll be everything to keep you entertained.
The stars are worried and they have every right to be. Someone will leave Hamilton Island $100,000 richer, and it's time to find out who. We are one day closer to finding out who will take home that $100,000, and what a day it was yesterday. I just had a look at those pictures again. It gave me goosebumps once again. There was pain out there, wasn't there?
That was the big takeaway from yesterday. I've never seen athletes in that much pain. Athletes like Javier Gomez, Alistair Brownlee, Mario Mola, these are the best of breed in current racing. They were in agony.
What did you do to them? What did you do to them when you made this up?
The course did it to them. The heat was brutal. I think that bike course, they really underestimated. A lot of people talked about how difficult it was, but it really broke them up, didn't it?
Oh, I mean, we got to see names that we've heard of before, but we haven't seen those people winning races, and I think that's what's absolutely fantastic about this event.
It was a real changing of the guard, and that's what we hoped for 100%. We'd see guys on the podium that maybe hadn't been there before, had only been there a couple of times, and we saw the elation when a man like Richard Varga, who's been overtaken so many times in Olympic distance, he overtakes people and he takes the second step, and Richard Murray as well. It was so good to see those guys and the young guys just changing it up.
Yeah, and young Jake Birtwistle winning the first ever race. He's such a huge talent. I'd pick massive things for this kid in the future. But I was really happy for Richard Varga. He stated before he came here that he wanted to do something special. He set that whole thing up with the swim. Race 2 was amazing.
Yeah, that champagne spray was good too, wasn't it?
I think all the athletes, you know, they really are having a great time out there. They know how tough it is, but it's certainly bringing out some strengths that they probably haven't been able to showcase before.
Let's have a look now at what happened if you missed it, the highlights from day one and what a day it was.
We knew this would hurt, but we didn't realise it would hurt this much. 80% humidity and 31-degree heat greeted the field as the triple mix got underway. A 3-stage race featuring mixed disciplines and just 10-minute turnarounds. First up, the traditional swim bike run and the traditional Richard Varga swim domination.
There's 3 body lengths in front of the field here, which is amazing.
The Slovakian dominating in the water as he would all day. Iceland's Siggy Ragnarsson, the course's first casualty, while Ireland's Ben Shaw made the first error.
He's miscounted the laps
and there's
he's got the shoes off.
That is inexperience,
there.
Oh, that is a heartbreaking mistake for Ben Shaw, who looks so good.
Aussie Ryan Fisher led out the final leg, a tight and narrow 2-kilometre run, during which we saw the first chinks in the armour of Olympic champion and crowd favourite Alistair Brownlee.
Is there a problem for Brownlee there? He looks like he's almost pulled over to the left.
He's never liked hot weather. If there's ever been a kryptonite with this kid, it is hot weather racing.
Up front, Tasmanian Jacob Birtwistle had found his stride and found himself holding off ITU World Champion Mario Mola.
Here is our first winner. Jake Birtwistle is going to do the job. He's going to hold off Mario Mola with Richard Murray third. Our first Super League Triathlon winner is a local, a Tasmanian lad, an Aussie. It's fantastic to see.
It feels good. It's also very handy to get that 5-second bonus as well. So, yeah, just got to recover now and hopefully back it up again.
Run, bike, swim, and a rolling start for race 2. Birtwistle and Shaw, the early pace setters. Nothing between them coming into transition.
Who is going to take this 5-second bonus? They are neck and neck as they come across the finish line for the run. Both of them talking about what they're going to do here. I'm sure that there's no collusion through these two, but a big sprint as we move across the finish line.
Aussie pair Ryan Fisher and Ryan Bailey with huge rides, knowing they had to give themselves time on the swim. With Superfish Richard Varga chasing, they couldn't hold him off. The man with the fastest Olympic distance swim in history doing the job over 300 metres.
It looks as though Richard Varga is going to do the job in stage 2 of the triple mix. Richard Varga wins a race, and isn't he excited about it as well? He swims people down just like he said he was going to.
It was really brutal hard, especially on the start of the race. I crashed into the Gomez Javi and I had handlebars all across it, so I had to be really careful on the bike what I'm doing. And then I was just trying to go as hard as possible on swim.
10 minutes break and it was time to go again. A final bike, swim, run. Another rolling start. This time with Robbie McEwen leading them off.
How about you give me a countdown? When would you like me to let them go?
When would we like to let him go?
You're looking pretty good on the front there, Robbie, but I'm going to leave it up to you. I want to see that speed. Do you still have it? And I want to see the responsiveness of the athletes behind you. It's off. They're racing.
They're off. Look at you go, Robbie.
The bike brought a crash for sure. Andrea Salzberg was the first into the water with a great dive. Varga, 5th in and first out. Time for a transition comment.
Ryan Varga's come back. Can you run him down?
Bloody oath, mate.
There we go, them fighting words.
He couldn't do it though. Instead it was South African Richard Murray showing his experience.
Richard Murray doing the job, high fives as well, big smiles across the South African's face. The veteran has done it here in stage 3 and he's very happy about it as well.
Now you've got to recover and get ready for a time trial and uphill finish tomorrow morning, so any fear there?
No, I think plenty of Coronas tonight, and that'll do the trick. Yeah, some beer, some bread, maybe good German bread or something like that, and we'll be good to go tomorrow.
That win handing Murray the overall win, with Varga 2nd and Bailey 3rd. The champagne spraying, and less than 12 hours till they do battle again.
Richard Murray with the win, and what a win it was. I wonder whether he did in fact get stuck into the beer and bread. Richard Varga with 18 points as we head into day 2, and Ryan Bailey on the third step of the podium with 16. Javier Gomez looking very threatening with 13 points there as well, and Jacob Birtwistle, who won the first race on 10 points. As we move further down, Matt Hauser, huge for him, takes 6 points. He's one of the juniors there in the white outfits. Josh Amberger was very strong in the third race. And as we move further down, Dimitri Polyansky, Terenzo Bozzoni, poor Siggy Ragnarsson, who had to pull out in race 1, get 0, and Yorick van Egdom, who was ill. He also is on 0, but he'll be back bigger and stronger today. Speaking of bigger and stronger, after he's been up on the hill one time, Robbie McEwen is down in transition. Robbie, talk us through your thoughts on day 1. What was it like down there?
Down here on course, my big takeaway from yesterday was the pain and the suffering. These athletes were in the hurt box after every single race. There were guys, it was almost another race to get to the ice bin to try and cool down, and that 10 minutes, all the athletes were saying that 10 minutes felt like about 2 minutes, and they couldn't believe they had to back up again so quickly, and that this course is really brutal. The ride was taking its toll. Not only saw Shaw go down, but the uphill climb here, about 450 metres long only, but it came around so quickly. So it was like everything was in fast forward yesterday. And even if you won a race like Birtwistle, he finds himself midfield on points. So the other thing a lot of guys were commenting on, it changes so quickly, and even if I've had a bad one, I know I'm not out of it yet.
And Robbie, the conditions yesterday, ridiculously hot. It looks like a bit of cloud cover. Just as hot today?
It was very, very hot. As soon as the sun pokes out from behind the clouds, just the intensity goes right up, the temperature rises, but it just burns through your skin. What we're also looking at, and everyone's looking at, is that weather radar to see if any rain's going to hit the island here. Fingers crossed not, but it's not out of the question, but it would make this course really treacherous, and the most skilled athlete, and probably the most lucky as well, will get away with it and take the big points on this round.
Thanks, Robbie. We look forward to hearing some more comments in transition. That was fantastic. Bloody oath, mate. That was very, very good. We'll take a break right now. When we come back, we're getting closer to the Equalizer. We'll talk all about it, and then you'll see some racing. Hamilton Island from across the water, doesn't it look serene? There's going to be a lot more pain at ground level as we move into day 2 and the Equalizer. Let's look at the format right now and what you can expect this afternoon. We've already had a little bit, the individual cycling time trial this morning. We'll see that in a second. And then you pay that penalty anytime you finish. Swim, run, swim, bike, run. And then the winner of that race is the winner of day 2. It's going to be fantastic. Again, something new for the athletes. You keep dreaming up things that get it harder and harder, Christopher. Emma, I'll ask you first, though. As an athlete who's recently retired, how hard would it be to get into something like this?
Well, given today, you know, it was starting off with a bike ride, again, not normal. Chris has certainly thought up everything in the book. So I think, you know, these athletes are certainly starting off with a 6K time trial early in the morning. Given what they went through yesterday, I think their minds are just completely running around in circles, wondering where are we, what are we going to be doing next? But I think the legs are going to be burning.
I hope so. How do you see this one playing out?
Well, this one's set up for the bike riders. That was the whole reason of the Equalizer, is to give the bike rider the advantage, a non-drafting advantage. This bike course is very, very difficult, as you said. The last 1,500 metres, 24.4%. Unbelievable. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, it seeks out those riders who've been using the packs to draft a little bit for sure. Let's have a look at the map and how they attacked the time trial this morning. It started down at Hamilton Island Airport, so we got 4 kilometres of completely flat road as they got a little bit of blood in their legs, a couple of technical turns at the far end, and then they came back, took a right turn along the back of the marina and then straight up One Tree Hill. It's practically a cliff, 24.4%. Here is how the highlights played out.
Sunrise at Hamilton Island. Normally a serene experience, but not today. With the Friday podium champagne barely dry, broken bodies were hauled from sleep for the first stage of the Equalizer. A 6-kilometre time trial starting at the airport, which we casually shut down for the morning, distressing local air traffic control, with every second lost to be paid in the afternoon. The start order was a reversal of yesterday's results, and after missing the opening day with illness, 2016 under-23 world champ Jorik van Egdom of the Netherlands took flight.
2, 1, go.
A historic moment here as Jorik van Egdom is the first man down the start ramp. Great to see him fight his way back from illness to take on the time trial.
4Ks along the relative calm of the airport runway, a unique experience, giving the athletes the chance to size each other up, but soon giving way to the brutal One Tree Hill climb. A 121-metre elevation over the last 1.4 kilometres with a maximum gradient of 24.4%. In other words, for every 4 metres you go forward, you go 1 metre upwards. Think about that. Despite practically riding up a cliff, Van Egdom completed the course in 9 minutes 53, which would turn out to be very competitive. Icelandic wildcard and fan favourite Siggy Ragnarsson recovered from a hamstring issue yesterday to finish 36 seconds back, whilst Ireland's Ben Shaw, who hit the tarmac hard during a Friday bike leg, this time got it right.
Great riding, Ben Shaw. Oh, look at his face there, 10.03. What a great ride after hitting the deck yesterday.
Next off was reigning Olympic gold medalist Alistair Brownlee. Widely regarded as the best in the field, Brownlee was humbled yesterday, lapped by several on his way to a 19th overall.
Ali Brownlee really finding it tough to bounce back. He's really not looking that good. He is behind the 8 ball.
I woke up feeling a bit better this morning, but yeah, really struggled through that. Just my legs just don't want to go. Hopefully I'll get better as the races go on.
He'd finished 17th and with a lazy 38 seconds to make up in this afternoon's 5-leg pursuit. With a quarter of the field through, Van Egdom's mark still stood, but not far behind Brownlee came Colorado native Cameron Dye. The man with the self-proclaimed best hair in triathlon also has a killer bike leg, and it showed.
9:40, 13 seconds ahead of Jorik van Egdom. That's the new time of the day.
Oh, it was brutal, man. That was pure carnage. I mean, you got the flat part of the runway and then the hills was ridiculous.
Next under the 10-minute mark was Aussie Josh Amberger. The half Ironman star has been vocal about his chances on the short power climb, and he backed it up with a 9:57 to sit third, or fourth once Christian Blumenfeld posted a 9:53.
And here's the big Norwegian Christian Blumenfeld. He is muscling the bike. Looks like he's on track for a fantastic time.
The Norwegian at 77 kilograms, one of the heaviest in the field, blowing the concept of the light, agile king of the mountain out of the water. Although there was one super agile finisher.
Oh, what's that? Oh, it's a kangaroo on the course, and he's turned around, he's crossed the finish line. Oh, that's a great time.
It is Australia after all. With 15 of the 24 done, Dye's 9:40 held the lead ahead of Van Egdom and Blumenfeld. Enter yesterday's Stage 1 winner, Tasmanian youngster Jacob Birtwistle.
And here's the young Aussie Jake Birtwistle, winner of Stage 1 yesterday. Said he struggled a little bit on the bike though. Not today, he had a point to prove. Look at that time, 9:42. He has flown.
I think going out this morning, I had to kind of prove myself that I can actually ride. I struggled a bit on the bike yesterday, so kind of had a point to prove, and yeah, just went out there and kind of gave it all, and yeah, happy to kind of just be 2 seconds back and be in a good starting position for the Savo.
The 2015 under-23 world title holder just missing out on the provisional top spot, but there was plenty of talent to come. 6-time Swiss national champ Andreas Salversberg relegated Brownlee yet another spot before gritty Aussie Ryan Fisher tapped into his aggression and found another gear.
Oh, and Ryan Fisher on for a good time. Let's wait for the clock. 9:42.43. He's finished third, just behind Birtwistle. Great riding by Fish.
With yesterday's top 6 still to come, Dye led from Birtwistle and Fisher, and they were never headed. The new order firmly established. Reigning World Triathlon Series champion Mario Mola pipped Spanish compatriot and 5-time world champion Javier Gomez by a second.
I felt okay. I think I managed to climb and finish in one piece, which is important considering the conditions, and yeah, overall good feeling. Now trying to recover for this afternoon.
Obviously the big cyclists like Cameron Dye, these guys, we knew they were going to be better, but at the same time as Mario, Richard's like 2-3 seconds ahead, so we are pretty close together, so we'll see this afternoon.
After a huge Stage 3, Richard Murray stood atop the podium after yesterday's triple mix. The flamboyant South African coming in at 10 minutes flat to finish 8th. A 1 minute and 6 seconds spread across the 24 competitors, ensuring an enthralling afternoon's racing. What a morning it was, and how good it was to get up early and watch a time trial like that. Cameron Dye doing the job, 9:40, a couple of Aussies behind him, and Bert Whistle and Fisher. And then the time started to blow out a little bit. Richard Murray, our leader, 20 seconds. Ben Shaw was angry, and he ended with 23 seconds back. And this is, of course, they're going to pay later on. Javier Gomez, 25 seconds. Alistair Brownlee, as we saw there, finished 17, so he wouldn't be too happy with that. And we went down to a minute 06, and we'll talk about the potential to be eliminated there. But what did you guys think about that? It was quite a big spread across the field.
I was at the top of the hill. It was unbelievable to see the pain on the faces, and you had to really dig in today. They were so tired from yesterday's racing to come out in the morning and have to do that. Oh, agony.
Look,
you got out of bed, didn't you?
We're all out of bed, and it's certainly worth the sunrise, but probably not for the boys. And they really did give it all. But I was most impressed with Jacob Birtwhistle. I think he did have a point to prove out there on the bike, and he certainly did.
He really did. You know, he's so young.
Well, Robbie McEwen is down in transition. I know he would have loved to ride up that hill, but instead he's doing this job. Robbie, where are you?
Well, one of the guys I think is a man to watch. He flew somewhere just under the radar yesterday, but picked up some really good points. Only 5 or 6 points off the overall leader, Javier Gomez. Have you been flying under the radar on purpose and waiting for the right moment to attack this field?
I know, it really was a tough day. I struggled a little bit towards the last stage. But I'll see how I feel today. I'm convinced to give my 100%, and I think I still have my chance. I'm not too far from leading, so I hope I have a smart race and do well.
And this afternoon, you're going to be diving into the swim 25 seconds behind Dye, who won the time trial, but only 5 seconds or so behind Richard Murray. So pretty confident you can peg him back, get in a group, and at least finish equal, not lose any more points to him.
Yeah, there's a bunch there of like 3-4 guys. Mario Mola, Richard Murray, Ryan Bailey's only a couple of seconds ahead of Richard. So let's try to have a good swim and try to stay with those guys, and towards the end of the race, try to make my move.
It looks like you guys might end up in a strong group after the first swim run, but you do have a little group off the front that'll take some real catching, some of the young guns.
Yeah, definitely. Jake and Ryan Fisher, they did very well this morning, and they're going to be hard to catch, but there's a group of strong guys behind, and if we work together, maybe we can do it.
There you go. They're ready to mow them down.
Thanks, Robbie. One of the fittest men in the world, and you can see he's already sweat through his shirt before he has even started. It's very hot and very humid as we take a lovely aerial view of Hamilton Island. I think we're actually going to go back down to Robbie right now. He seems to have found someone else already.
Another one of the men to watch. Well, the other athlete from the Spanish Armada here on Hamilton Island, Mario Mola. You must be very pleased with your time trial this morning, diving in just 24 seconds behind the leader of this afternoon's race.
Yes, I knew it was going to be a tough one, and there's many good cyclists here. So, yeah, I'm happy where I'm starting now, and it's just a matter of finishing the day well.
And you're right there with your countryman, with Javier Gomez. You're also right behind Richard Murray, so it looks like a good little group that could form there to try and chase down those young guys who did gun time trials this morning.
Yeah, we have to work hard if we want to make those 20 seconds that guys like Jake Birtwhistle or Fisher may put on us. So, yeah, we'll have to work very hard, but, yeah, we're here for that, and hopefully, yeah, we can work together. There's not many working spots really on the course, but on the other hand, like if we can help each other, I think that would help us to get as close as possible to the front and fight it at the end.
It could start getting tactical too, thinking about the points differences. Yourself, Javier, Murray, very close together. Those young guys that are starting with the lead this afternoon are a bit further back on points. So do you think those tactics could keep you guys just watching each other a lot more and give some dark horses a chance to make up some ground?
We'll see. We're also thinking about tomorrow is going to be another tough day, so we've got to be prepared to race hard, and at the same time, you don't want to miss the opportunity to score points, and today is another good chance, and I think everyone is going to race full gas today, and hopefully that was a good show.
All right, good luck and go hard.
Thank you, I'll do. Thank you.
Mario Mola, the world champion there. He's 5 points back and 24 seconds back. Javier Gomez as well, lurking the Spanish pair. We're going to take a little break right now from Hamilton Island as we count down to the Equalizer, the swim run, swim bike run. There's plenty coming up. Stay tuned.
Ready to fall.
Plenty of focused faces there as we count down to the equaliser. A swim, run, swim, bike, run. A very different and very difficult undertaking here, Emma, as we look at a fantastic shot of the marina where they are going to swim. It's going to be a fantastic. A quick thought on the equaliser?
Very much, I think there could be 2 races within this race. So points, time, it's all going to play out very, very exciting.
Yeah, we'll talk about the bubble as well and maybe getting rid of a few people. Let's have a look at the map now. Chris, take us through it.
The conditions again today, the same as yesterday, ridiculously hot, ridiculously humid. But the course, nothing's changed. If we saw yesterday, centre of the harbour, Hamilton Island Harbour, the athletes on the right-hand side of the pontoon had an advantage. The anti-clockwise swim got quite bunched here. Varga really showing his pace in his straight section run out at the marina to come into transition. It got quite tight in transition as they started the bike course each lap. And this part here on Mango Tree Hill was very, very difficult. 14.5% climb. They came along the straight section. It tended to bunch as they got to the top, would split as they came around the roundabout, and a lot of the athletes losing their nerve on the descent. We saw Ben Shaw drop the bike as he made the right-hand corner. 6 laps to complete the bike course, and it was the run yesterday that showed all the talent in this field. And again today, out to the end of Front Street, very hot and humid. These dead turns again playing a pivotal role in who's going to win this event today. Richard Murray, Mario Mola in particularly, very, very good here. Jacob Birtwistle as well. Very hot. We saw carnage here. And as we come today, we're going to see the winner of this equaliser.
There really is nowhere to hide. The swim is 28 degrees in the water. Then the run, there was absolutely nowhere to go there. Not very much breeze, very, very hot. And the bike, very tough.
Look, these athletes are in for something new again this afternoon, aren't they? I mean, they certainly had their pontoon position drawn, but here we are. Here's the start list for today.
Cameron Dye at the top, courtesy of a 9:40 in the time trial this morning. As you saw, Jake Birtwistle, Ryan Fisher, Yorick van Egdon back after being sick yesterday. He's on 0 points, but in a great position. Another couple of Aussies in Josh Amberger, who did well on the bike, and Ryan Bailey, who showed how tough he is in 6th and 7th as we move further down. Javier Gomez was pipped from the top 10 by Mario Mola. He'll finish 25 seconds back. Brent McMahon, the veteran, 36 seconds back. As we move down, you see Alistair Brownlee in 17th. Dan Hoy, one of the wild cards, in 20th and 21st. Siggy Ragnarsson, 49. 66 seconds for Dimitri Polyansky. It's going to be a rolling start. We'll go down to Robbie right now. He's got someone in transition, I think.
Guys, I am down here on the swim start pontoon. The sun's come out from behind the clouds, very bright, getting even hotter. And I'm joined here by 2-time Olympian and CEO of Hamilton Island, Jeff Burke. Jeff, you must be really excited to have an event of this calibre come to the, Glenn, my excuse, to come to the island, an event like this.
Oh, look, we're delighted to have the best triathletes in the world here pushing themselves in paradise. We've got probably one of the world's toughest courses you could ever imagine. It's very hilly here. It's obviously hot and humid this time of the year. And it's just great to see these elite athletes pushing themselves around the course here on Hamilton Island, on the footsteps of the Great Barrier Reef. And we're just delighted to have them here.
Well, you really do have the perfect location. The talk has been all weekend about the heat and humidity, but as the rest of the country is having constant rain or freezing cold, I mean, how good is it to come up and enjoy this place? And what's the feedback you've had from the athletes that are here racing?
Well, I had a chat to Jake Birtwistle and I said, how hard was it, mate? And he said, 10 out of 10. But I think they're enjoying it. I mean, it's a new format. It's really interesting for them. I think it blew them away on the first day. They looked a little shell-shocked after that first round, but they've bounced back. We had a few, soft drinks with them last night, and they all seemed okay, and they got themselves back in shape, and they're here today to race again. So, I mean, it's surprising how fast they're going. We have our own little triathlon here, and we don't see this level of competitor, so it's great to have the world's best here.
Well, soft drinks last night with the guys. I guess Richard Murray wasn't in the house for those drinks, and we heard his post-race recovery routine yesterday, the beers and plenty of junk food. But to have these athletes here and all the other VIPs that come into town, I mean, we've had Ian Thorpe here yesterday, we've got Eric Magnussen, who's going to be in the Formula One in Melbourne next week. So you're used to having star-studded affairs and really big events, but an event like this, I mean, what does it mean to Hamilton Island to get this here?
Look, we have 1,300 employees here, and maybe 1,000 of them are here directly involved in the event, whether it's servicing people in hotels or taking people on trips or watching the race or setting up the barricades and being involved in the event. And it motivates them. You know, they see sport as a great avenue for them rather than other pastimes that are less healthy. So we think it's a great motivator, it's a great tool for them. It brings us all together. We're never as efficient and never as good as when we're putting on a major international event like this one.
And having said that, I mean, you've got so many people holidaying on the island. It's a chance for them to get some free entertainment and see world-class events. So, you know, even people, non-athletes like ourselves. So we'll go and enjoy the event and have a great afternoon. Thank you.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Thanks, Robbie.
We're seeing some of the athletes there. It just seems to me that just before a race and just before anything important, there's a quiet time. Everyone seems to go into their own quiet zone, and it seems like you either have a chat, as we saw Alistair Brownlee with Richard Varga. We know they're great mates and they train together up in Leeds, but some guys just there, Terenzo Bazzoni, just quiet. How did you guys deal with that time before a race when you knew you were about to exert yourself and hit that red zone?
Yeah, look, it's always interesting, but me personally, I like to sort of speak to, you know, probably a friend, but otherwise keep to myself and just focus on what was ahead.
Robbie can't stop talking to people. Robbie, what are you doing?
Guys, I am down here with Ryan Bailey. Now, great racing yesterday, but Ryan, you hit the lead in that run yesterday. You mowed down. You said, bloody oath, I'll catch Varga. You did, but what happened? Show us that hand.
The hand's all right. It's just a bit of precaution, I guess, just so I get out of the mine. But, yeah, I had a bit of a tumble around the U-turn and, yeah, like that. The feet went from underneath me and it was a bit slippery, but that's racing.
But starting with the front runners today, trying to get in that front group and pull away, grab some good points?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I think I'll save it for the bike and hopefully it all comes together before then. And then, yeah, get a bit of a jump on them maybe on the bike and hold on for the run.
All right, mate, they're calling your name. Go and get lined up. Yeah. Also with us here, I've also got... Well, big news from yesterday, a really tumultuous day. Ben Shaw, mate, you pulled in early in that first stage, made a mistake on the bike leg, and it just went from bad to worse. How have you pulled up after that big stack?
Oh, my hip's buggered. I've got grazes all down my leg. I've had an hour's night's sleep, so we'll see what happens today.
But you're not pulling up, you're lined up again. You're not going to pull out of this race. You're going to give it everything. So you're still pretty good in the time trial, considering your injuries from yesterday.
Oh, for sure. I'm not here just to turn up and just pull out and have a party or whatever. I'm here to race, so let's get on the start line.
All right, fighting words again, so great to hear.
I love Ben Shaw. I love everything about Ben Shaw.
I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of Ben Shaw.
Just 2 or 3 minutes now till race start. As we said, a swim, that's 300 metres. It's always a forecast height. It says forecast height. You may as well just put that up every single day of the year. A swim, 300 metres. The bike, 6 kilometres on the loop. Back in the water for 300 metres. And then if you are more than 1 minute behind the leader, you are out of this race before you hit the bike and then the run. That is going to be an interesting proposition, and we'll keep you posted, as Dimitri Polyansky is already outside the minute. He'll start 1 minute and 6 seconds back. So are we going to see people eliminated?
It's very possible. Dimitri Polyansky and Alessandro Fabiani, the Italian, at 58 seconds back and 1 minute 6 back. Both these boys can swim, so they've got 2 swims and a run to make up that distance. But I tell you what, watch the clock there. 60 seconds is like that, especially if you're fatigued.
Now, Richard Varga, he's on 18 points. He's 2 points behind as we move into day 2, picking up that in the triple mix. He starts 43 seconds back. He is the fish. He always wins the swim. How much can he take out of the others before he gets to the pontoon?
Well, it was clear yesterday, wasn't it? I mean, the amount of times we didn't expect him to, you know, enter the water 5th, come out leading by more than a body length at times. And this sort of racing, he said, really suits him. You know, from what he was as a young swimmer, there's so much lactic threshold. You know, this is this short, sharp racing, and he's just having an absolutely great time out there, he said, and really being able to showcase what he's been good at. And triathlon is what he loves now, and we're really grateful for it.
Yeah, and if you look at that group around Varga too, because they're only about 8 or 9 seconds apart, but you've got Brownlee who swims well, Salvisberg we saw yesterday swimming very, very well, Schumann swims well, so those guys could get together and catch up to each other in that swim, form a group on the run, work that second swim and set themselves up.
Now, we know it's a rolling start, so we're going to see Cameron Dye go first and then Jacob Birtwistle, and people are going to be waiting. Can you imagine being on the pontoon, seeing other people swim away from you and knowing that you have to catch up to them? That must be torturous for a triathlete. It's something that doesn't happen.
Well, I was going to say those 10 minutes, everyone said, you know, went so quickly yesterday, but I think, you know, 10 seconds today, sitting there watching someone swim away from you is going to feel like forever.
Yeah, and this is continuous today. There's no stopping. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see. Cameron Dye, a very, very good swimmer. So the guy kicking this off, not only a great bike rider, a very, very good swimmer.
We are under a minute now to race start. I'll get your thoughts very quickly on who you think could be a threat in this one.
I'm going to go with young Jake Birtwistle again. He's just looked fantastic for the last 2 days. Made a few mistakes yesterday, but that was inexperience. Today's time trial, spectacular.
Look, I was going to say the same, but look, I might have to. I think maybe I'll go for Bailey. I'm obviously a big fan of the Australians doing well, and I think this is just such a great opportunity. They're going out there. None of them have anything to lose. They've got everything to prove, and I think this is where they're going to shine. And I'm really, really excited to see this countdown.
All right, Ryan Bailey, super confident. Cameron Dye, super confident as well now. 10 seconds now to go before we see the first of our competitors in the water. Cameron Dye, who's done so much in triathlon and in long distance, will lead us off, and he's into the water. Big dive. 2 seconds later, there goes Jake Birtwistle, Ryan Fisher as well, and they are off. There's quite a gap now, 10 seconds to Yorick van Egdom, and he is just watching the trio disappear into the distance already. That must be incredibly tough.
That would be hard. And they're all lined up now. Van Egdom, Blumenfeld and Amberger. Amberger can swim.
Don't forget, Josh can certainly help drag some of these guys up with him as he swims past, and if they use any of the tactics that we like on the bike, drafting, sitting on the feet, sitting on the hips. So let's see if any groups do form in this swim.
Crisanto Grajales and Igor Poliansky on the same time, so they took off together. Henry Schumann, Andreas Salversberg, they're all off. Richard Varga now is going to get into the water. Watch him and see if he can chop down people one after the other. Who have we got now? Terenzo Bozzoni, Dan Hoy. The wild card is on the same as Siggy Ragnarsson, so they'll enter together. Another wild card in Matt Hauser, Alessandro Fabian, and very last of all, and 66 seconds back, he's going to have a long 8 seconds waiting on the swim pontoon, is Dmitry Polyansky, and he's got everything to do if he's going to avoid being eliminated in a second of the swims. He's going to have 2 big swims and a very good bike, and they are all in the water and spread out all the way to the boys. The leaders have already made it 125 metres. This is something completely different. Almost everyone has a little bit of clean water to work with.
That's also very different from what they got to experience yesterday. And someone like Polyansky, who is at the back, is a good swimmer, maybe got caught up yesterday, didn't get to showcase how good he is. And this could be an opportunity where you said this 1 minute where they potentially can be ruled out of the race. He may be able to fight his way back in.
And you see Birtwistle and Fisher had joined Dye. Dye's a fantastic swimmer. So Jake, whose swim has been a weakness in the past, to move up onto Dye's hip, it's a big move.
Very big move, and Cameron Dye leads them out, and it looks like he's going to lead them in as well. So he's given it his all, and he was he was broken man this morning, but he really gave it everything he did on the TT bike as well. So he made that decision and he got it right. And now there's a little group together, Jacob Birtwistle alongside Cameron Dye.
Geez, he's swimming well, Jacob.
They're proving you right, really, which I don't like. All weekend, you've been right on Jacob Birtwistle, and he keeps proving you right, and I don't enjoy that. I prefer to see you get it wrong.
Yeah, this kid's a super talent. Look for him over the next 5 or 6 years to do special things on the world circuit. He is a very big talent.
Big gaps to the top 3. Birtwistle and Dye are your co-leaders at the moment, and right behind them is Ryan Fisher as well. The trio quite a way ahead, so they'll enter into transition together as there's a huge spread across the field. It's over 100 metres.
Yeah, look, it's like we've seen, transition is just as important as the rest of the legs today. I mean, you can't just say 3 at this point in time because there's so many of them. But yeah, I agree with you, Chris. I've been most impressed by Jacob, and he has worked really hard on his swim, and you wouldn't know that he is, given his stroke, given how good he looks in the water, he's been doing so much work, but comes from a running background.
And Ryan Fisher, we're not talking about him, but he's sitting right off the hip of Jake Burt. It was one of the nicest spots to sit in a swim. You get a little bit of a draft. I like that spot back in the day, but to see Jacob Birtwistle lay down the smack on Cameron Dye, who's considered the best swimmer in triathlon in the US, he is in great form.
It's a long race, though, isn't it? It looks like around a 39 to 40-minute race. Is there any pacing yourself in this kind of thing? Because we've gone for 3 legs to 5.
Well, he's moving into his strongest discipline now, the run. Okay, so he can set this right up and get away. He rode so well this morning, and these 3 are going to form a little group, but I think...
Let's throw down actually now to Robbie McEwen. Robbie, how does it look down there? I can see you on screen.
Oh, this group has got a really good gap. They've actually built the gap. Ryan Fisher's just in. Fish, here comes Birtwistle, shoe on. Attack him. nothing from him. He is at about 300 beats a minute by my count. I can feel it from where I'm standing. Here is Blumenfeld, everything in, and the boys are just trying to chase down that 3. They can already see them running away up the road. I'm seeing a lot of looks, looking up the chute and trying to gauge where the gap is. There's Varga. He knows he's got a heap of work to do, and he's looking forward to another swim because he has reduced the gap. He's taken a long time in transition, and now they're all out. Brownlee, shoes on as well. He's looking a bit better than yesterday. He looks like he's got more energy, so Brownlee is starting to come good for mine.
Birtwistle and Fisher at the front. Cameron Dye just a little bit off the back, and we saw how good Jacob Birtwistle is on the run. We said yesterday he's got 11 middle and long distance Australian titles, and he just looks comfortable. He doesn't look pained in the face. A little bit like Richard Murray yesterday, just looks within himself in the run.
I would say he looks confident. He won that first round yesterday. He impressed himself, I think, even with his bike ride this morning. And someone who's coming through the ranks, like we've mentioned, the names that we're here racing with, I think this is just perfect for him. He looks so self-contained. Whether you want to call it a poker face or not, I think he's just really within himself at this point.
Yeah, he was disappointed himself. We spoke to him after the TT this morning. He was very disappointed in his middle section of the race yesterday, but now with the run, he set himself up with a big bike ride this morning. He looks very comfortable. He can relax now, sit off Dye in the swim again, and out, go on the bike.
Into the first sort of dead turn as they have to try and keep momentum up as much as possible. We'll try and update you if we can on where they're sitting at the moment. Birtwistle, Fisher and Dye are well ahead, actually 12 seconds back to Josh Amberger, Yorick van Egdom, who's in his first running race of the weekend. Christian Blumenfeld at 15 seconds. Richard Murray, Henry Schumann, Igor Polyansky, and 10th rounding out is Javier Gomez with Ben Shaw right alongside him. So they've started to bunch up a little bit. At the moment, Alistair Brownlee sitting in 16, so he's 26 seconds back. So he has actually taken, he started 38 seconds back, quite a chunk of time out of them, 12 seconds in the first leg.
Wow, Alistair's coming back. We heard Robbie say that he looked a lot better. But I'm surprised at Josh Amberg. I thought he'd do a little bit more in that swim. He's moved up slightly, but maybe there's a bit of tactics going in because that's a power group. And if we can stay together in the swim, we'll work the bike ride together. This group of 3 off the front will be tough to catch. It's a very technical bike course, hard to work. It's going to be interesting.
That would have hurt Brownlee yesterday. I mean, I know he said he wasn't feeling good, but to be the Olympic champion and to be lapped would have hurt him mentally, and he'd be ready to come out today. And he didn't do too well in the TT and really remake his mark.
Well, he said he suffered from a stitch, and he hadn't suffered from a stitch since he was, a young kid running around, I guess, in Leeds. And that goes to show you the intensity and the difference in the type of racing. I mean, obviously, he's travelled a long way to get here. Jet lag, plays a big part. But for someone like him of his calibre, it's something we're not accustomed to seeing. But I'd have to say, looking at him today, he certainly looks a bit more like the Alistair that we've come to know.
Yeah, we normally see him fly across the tarmac, and he's certainly got a lighter touch with his foot than he had. He felt like it looked like he was plodding a little bit more yesterday. He certainly got that Alistair Brownlee gait back. As we see that Richard Murray and Christian Blumenfeld are pushing the pace. They're still 10 seconds back on that trio, but Richard Murray, who ran so well yesterday, is going to try to drag that group of 6 or so up towards these guys. He doesn't want to see them disappear into the distance. He knows how much running talent is in that group of 3.
Oh, without question. And the other thing about going back to Alistair Brownlee, he's a smart racer. He's tagged Richard Varga. He knows Varga is going to make a move on the swim. If he can just sit off his feet, he can move up into that second group and start looking ahead at these 3 in front.
Jacob Birtwistle looking like he's going for a Sunday jog at the front there. He must have a very long gait.
And look who's leading the group behind.
Is that Richard Murray there?
No, that is the big man, Javier Gomez.
Javier Gomez. Now they're within 5 seconds, so there's a big move by that group. Javier Gomez, as he tends to do sometimes, has pushed the pace, and he's taken Blumenfeld and Mario Mola as well, and Ryan Bailey and Yorick van Egdom all with him. So they are pushing that pace. They are trying to close them down before this swim leg again.
Yeah, I think closing down that pack, those front 3 runners is very important at this point in the game because they want to bring everyone back. Everybody, I mean, especially Mario Mola, they're so close on points, and obviously their time difference where they started today. But they all know they're the big front runners, and they're accustomed to leading the races, dictating the pace, and that's where they want to get to.
Yeah, and you've got Richard Varga back in the second group. They know if they can keep him off the back, he's sitting in second position right now. They can jump up and move up, and Gomez is one of those people looking at a podium position out of today's racing.
As we move closer to transition and into the third leg, we are seeing at the moment, we should explain, if you're within if you're outside of 60 seconds at the end of the swim leg, as we've mentioned, you are gone. And our timing at the moment says that Siggy Ragnarsson and Terenzo Bozzoni are right on the bubble at the moment.
Look who's made the move.
Javier Gomez makes his move. Knows he has to stay 20-odd seconds ahead of a Richard Varga if he's going to come out of the swim in the lead position.
Geez, he looks good today too, and that's a sign of endurance, it's a sign of talent, it's a sign of an experienced racer. He seemed to be off yesterday. He really seemed to be off, but that's the look I've seen of Javier Gomez for the last 6 or 7 years.
You're right. I mean, and Gomez has participated or competed and won, I should say, and in non-drafting events too. So he knows that he can go it alone if he needs to, and he does have that time to make up. So I think, you know, he takes that confidence with him if he knows that, look, you know, the pace is not where I need to be. I need to really put in a big gap to these guys behind me, especially with the likes of Murray. And I think, you know, this I would say as well. Some of these guys are, you know, Chris, I don't know what you've done to them, but they've really needed to find the second day to work into this event.
He looks like he's concentrating. When you see that look of Javier Gomez, he gets that concentrated look, you know he's in that zone, and he's got that today, definitely. You watch Richard Murray, he just sits off, he's going to bide his time, he knows that's the talent in front of him. Burt Whistle still pushing it a little bit, and it looks like Bailey's still there, just hanging on the back. Remember, Bailey's on the podium here. He needs to stay close to this group.
Richard Murray knows that he has a points buffer on Javi Gomez. He is on 20 points as we head into day 1, and Javi Gomez is on 13. If he can stay within him, he knows he's going to carry that into day 3, which is going to be very important. Javier Gomez, conversely, knows that he needs to drop these guys. He needs to put time into people and break them, push the pace, and drop people off the back like Richard Murray, and hopefully he ends up at the top of day 2, so there's plenty to play for, isn't there?
We're used to seeing Jocelyn coming off the bike. You know, everybody's fighting for position, but here we are into transition. Let's see if Robbie can catch anybody.
Yeah, Robbie, what are you doing?
Oh, guys, I'm just looking at the faces of the Spaniards looking good. Gomez has closed that gap down, but Richard Murray, I'm going to tell you now, Richard, are you just happy to sit and control this field with that point lead?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not? Well, why wouldn't you when you're going as well as him? Here's Ryan Bailey out of the way. He's through. I tell you who else was looking good was Blumenfeld. He has run really well.
And Gomez was quick in transition there, wasn't he? He came in just off the back. He was third in, but first out. Incredible transition.
How about, yeah, why not? It's very casual. That is a very casual comment as Christian Blumenfeld leads them into the water. Gomez second, Murray's there as well. 5 of them together, and then a little gap back to, I think that's Ryan Fisher.
And Bailey last in, he has to stay close. Bailey's got to keep his podium position there. That is your group that's going to get away. You've got to stay tight in this swim. That second swim now is very, very tough. All the blood's in the legs. You've got to get the blood to the arms again. Try and swim. You're trying to get the air in. Very difficult to swim second time round.
Unfortunately, Robbie's prediction of Javier Gomez was correct.
Can you
guys keep getting it right, and I don't enjoy it.
He's arsey, Robbie, isn't he?
Oh, no, he's got it. He's got it sorted out. He's doing a great job down there in transition as we see a group of about, I think, 10, including Henry Schumann and Yorick Van Edem, who's stayed on. And then who's in 12th position? Who is that? That's right, A. Brownlee. He's only 19 seconds back. He has halved his deficit from the start of this race.
I tell you what, that's the Brownlee we're used to seeing. He's got race head on today, I'm sure of it. He was not happy being beaten up yesterday. He's going to come through. He knows he has to move up. He's put himself right next to Varga, as I said, and if anyone's going to make a move now, it'll be Varga. Brownlee just needs to sit off the back of that and take the train to the front group if they can get there.
As it stands right now, we're going to lose 3 people. Potentially will be eliminated at the end of this swim if they can't catch up. Brent McMahon, the 36-year-old veteran. We know he's great on endurance. He's an Ironman. He's broke the 8-hour barrier 4 times. He's at 1:01. He's 1 second off the bubble. 10 seconds further behind is Siggy Ragnarsson and Terenzo Bozzoni at 1:19. So unless they can really put the jet ski on, we're going to see them finish this race at the end of the swim.
Oh, the positioning, even around these turn cans in the water. I mean, if you could see they're 3 and 4 abreast, it was just absolutely, you got to fight for your spot here. And this is what this racing is showing. These guys have to fight for every single metre out there, whether it's in the water, on the road, and on the ground. And
they've just found a way to chop each other up. Like they were spread out, and they're like, no, we want to go back to what we normally do, which is push each other down, elbow each other, pull a pair of goggles off.
Igor Polyansky's moved to the front, straight from the back of that pack, straight to the front of the field. The young Russian, geez, he swims well, really swims well. Jake Birtwistle as well, sitting wide, not sitting on the feet. Geez, he's confident in his swim.
He's certainly worked really hard, hasn't he? Yeah, he's pretty much doing everything and everything he needs to in order to be the best. And I think this style of racing is just only going to help him.
And the guy that,
Terenzo Bozzoni looks like he will probably be eliminated. It could be race over for the 5-time world champion, twice junior world champion in duathlon and in triathlon, and also the 2008 70.3 world champ, because he is outside the 60-second barrier. If you don't finish within a minute, as we keep saying, or within a minute of the leaders, you are stopped. You will not go the 2 final legs, and you are eliminated from this race. And that is huge for Terenzo Bozzoni. He's been there and done it so many times, 31 years of age, and he's going to be eliminated. He is at the back of this field.
So basically, Igor Polianski's going to stand up. The clock is going to start. It's going to count 60 seconds back. If you're not out of that water, then you're out of here.
That's a huge ego bruise, isn't it?
Oh, it's
that is tough. That is tough. Everything about what you've done here is brutal, actually. What you have done is brutal.
For someone like Terenzo, I mean, we could have expected that he had got better over the over the course of the 3 days, but given the endurance. But look, I think the speed of these guys is this is the telling sign.
Polianski in front.
Polianski in front. He knows he needs to make up some points. He's only on 8.
Third.
Varga,
the outboard
all
motor.
the way through. And as he's brought
Alistair Brownlee
with him. Look at that. Wow, I wonder if they spoke about that this morning at breakfast.
Robbie, you're down in transition. I can see you. How are we going?
I'm just looking at Javier Gomez. He's run himself back into this. He's been in control. He's looking really, really good. And it looks like he just wants to sit mid-pack on this bike. A lot of guys starting to just chase their tails, trying to get on the back of that front group. And now the clock has started. They're out on the bike course. And I'm just looking across and seeing guys still coming up to that swim exit. And that clock is counting down against them. And Terenzo Bozzoni, he's the one that's going to get in some real trouble. I'm going to move up towards the clock and count him down. Let's hope he's had a ripper of a swim.
Talk us through it. Let's talk us through whether we can see anyone get in under that bubble. We're getting very close as Richard Murray leads them up the hill for the first of 6 times. Igor Polianski right on his tail.
Where there goes Fabian. Amberger's in now. He's safe, but he's well off the back. So these guys are just going to be chasing all the way in. The last guys are just starting to come out of the swim now, just up that ramp, and still no sign of Terenzo Bozzoni. So he is in massive trouble.
Brent McMahon, Siggy Ragnarsson we saw just coming in there, and Terenzo Bozzoni, the last 3, as we see pictures of Richard Murray, yesterday's winner. He knows that he's got a lead to protect, and this is tough.
There you're eliminated. Siggy again is gone.
I've got Siggy with me.
Brent McMahon, 4 times under the 8-hour mark.
Mate, you've just been eliminated out of the race. Bit devastating. No points on this round.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the time difference since this morning was too huge, and the guys at front are putting out a really strong pace. I was hoping maybe to be able to catch up, at least get on the bike and finish the bike course, but it's how it is.
All right, bad luck. Another day tomorrow.
Yeah.
Guys, I've also got Brent McMahon down here with me. As an Ironman, these just intense races, just full gas from the start, just caught you out the short time trial and just couldn't quite get back in it.
Yeah, no, you got to turn around so quick. We had 12 hours between races, and I'm used to going for 8 hours at a time. So I did what I could. I kind of pissed. I wanted to get in that group and to just make the first lap even. And I knew I was holding them off yesterday on the bike, so I'd be right here. So it's frustrating.
All right, well, better luck tomorrow. There's still the eliminator to go, and that's the longest race of the weekend.
Yeah, so we got 3 races, make some damage.
All right, good luck, mate.
All right, thanks.
Great job, Robbie, as we saw Terenzo Bozzoni is there as well out and pushing
Look at
the
that
pace.
on the right, left of screen, Bailey.
Ryan Bailey, leading a big group as they come up the hill.
Gomez on the wheel. He reacted very quickly, Javier. He's in good form today.
As much as we talked of everyone being together, there's all these tactics going on with the points, with the time differences, and we thought we may see the race split, but coming together, I think they want to split it up again. But like you said, there's someone like Javier Gomez who just does play a very smart race all the time. He's always aware of his competitors, and he could be the one to really watch underneath all this.
Agreed. Richard Murray sitting 6th wheel. He likes to sit back. He moves through on Storrs Road descent, very technically astute on the bike, but they know off this bike they're running for the win, so they have to make a move. And Bailey, he saw him struggle in that first run after the swim. He knows that Gomez has got form on. He knows Murray's in good form on the run. He needs to make a move. His bike ride has been spectacular, and he climbs very, very well. So
Yeah, I really like Bailey's aggression, I have to say.
Yeah, agreed.
he certainly fights for everything that he does out there, and he gets frustrated with himself, and as long as he puts that to good use while he's racing, I think you know, he's able to attack, and if he wasn't there in the swim like he thought he would be, he goes to plan B. He's like, right, wasn't going the way it should have been. What do I need to do to make a difference now?
I spoke to Ryan Bailey along with a few of the other athletes yesterday after day one's racing, and they all uniformly said it was really tough out there. I hurt, except for I spoke to Ryan Bailey, and he said, for me, it was like a training run. I did not hurt, and I said, were you surprised to be up there where you finished? And he was like, not at all. I expect to be up there every single time. So he's got that mindset. Whether or not he actually believes that, he's telling himself he believes it.
That's all you got to do.
That's all you need to do.
That's all you have to do. But I tell you what, we're seeing Alistair Brownlee on the back of this group. Javier Gomez on the front. I wonder if he's trying to squeeze, because you want to get Brownlee off the back, because Brownlee's really one of those athletes. You give him a sniff of a win and he'll take it.
He has taken more than that. He has made up 36 seconds.
Exactly.
Obviously, Javier Gomez has made up 25 seconds of his own, but 36 seconds he's made up to be within 2 seconds. That is more than a sniff. That's 2 nostrils right there. He is charging through the field.
And was this morning's time trial a tactical move? You know, that you empty yourself in a time trial like you did this morning, and now you're seeing the cream of the crop rise, because that time trial's nullified now. That front bunch is running for the win, so riding for the win. Matt Hauser, number 33, the young junior, with Jurek van Egdom, under 23 world champion, but
we should explain that both Hauser and Dan Hoy are wearing the white because they are late entrants as wildcard juniors, and they are more than acquitting themselves amongst the star-studded field, aren't they?
It's just great to give the juniors a chance to race the best in the world, and that's sort of what we wanted to offer them. And we're pointing on the back. Who's at the back?
Well, that's Andreas Salzberg, and he's sitting up, so tactically a little bit slower. Are we taking it a little bit easier now? Is everyone...
That second group switched off.
Yeah, switched off
That second group saying, we've got a big day tomorrow. Let's switch off. We're out of this. We'll run for the points, but the win's coming out of that group right there on screen. Who's been dropped off the back there? I'd like to see that.
Your current order as it stands, Javi Gomez has been pushing the pace. Christian Blumenfeld he's such a fighter. He's been staying with him all the way. Ryan Bailey, Ryan Fisher, Igor Polyansky, the Russian, great to see him doing well, and his brother who made it inside that 1 minute mark, as we mentioned. Jake Birtwistle remains in the top 10 with Mario Mola, Richard Murray, Richard Varga and Alistair Brownlee. So the second half of that top 10 is the superstars of this sport, as we're seeing perhaps the experience and the endurance coming into play on day 2. They knew it was a 3-day event, and we're starting to see, as times get hard, the best sort of float to the top a little bit more than we did yesterday.
Oh, without question. You watch Bailey. Every time we get to the base of this hill, he moves to the front. He's eyeing off Javier Gomez. Blumenfeld's been doing a lot of work. Murray, tactically very smart. You haven't even seen him, as if you haven't seen Mola. They're 5 of the best runners in the sport right now. We've got a 2K run for the win after this. It's who does the minimal amount of work here to save the legs to ensure they can sprint for the finish.
A great shot there as they come underneath the base of Yacht Harbour Tower there, and there's a group of about, what is that, about 8 or 9. At the back of that is Alistair Brownlee, so he's hanging on, but he's not getting the benefit of being right there amongst the group, because he's 3 or 4 lengths back. And
he's struggling on that climb, and that's not Alistair.
Exactly.
It's not Alistair at the back?
And you've got to say, look, someone like Bailey, again, I know we've talked about him already, but they're opportunists. You know, that if they can see that Brownlee's off the back, you know, they've certainly already given it to him yesterday, and I think that's the thing, you know, they take those opportunities to further drive home. You know, if he's not having a great moment, let's capitalize on that. Let's make our break. And you know, it's great that the Aussies can communicate that with each other and work together and use their bike handling. But you know, Bailey's probably the smallest, lightest in the field, so going up that hill, his power to weight ratio is the best out of anyone, and so he may be expending energy, so to speak, but for someone of his size, it's not hurting, it's not damaging him quite as much.
Agreed. And those 2 boys on screen train together, Birtwistle and Bailey, and they've attacked, which is interesting for me, because I think Birtwistle is the quickest of the bunch. We saw that yesterday on the run. He got the fastest run of the day. So it's interesting to see those 2 boys obviously have very, very good legs.
83 kilometres an hour down into what is quite a rough section of road, and it's not straight by any stretch of the imagination either. I can just imagine if it gets a little bit wet tomorrow, that is going to be very, very slippery, but it's incredibly dangerous as we speak.
Yeah, that'll be called Carnage Corner.
Carnage Corner.
Or
Write
Shore
that down.
Corner.
Yeah, Shore Corner. But look again, Bailey. And it's Gomez.
Look at that face.
It was Gomez is trying to pull the group back. He knows that Birtwistle, if Birtwistle can hang on here, that could be the hang on for the win, because these two boys train together, as I said, and they look great.
Well, given that first run, they've also had an opportunity to see how Gomez is faring today, and he's obviously feeling a lot better than he did. He also looked better, the same as Brownlee, as we mentioned, but the same thing. They need to talk to each other and say, you know, let's not wait around here. Let's not wait around if Gomez is having a better day than we thought.
Agreed.
Let's take it off the front. Let's be aggressive. It's fantastic.
That second group has said enough. They look to be sitting up, and this is an aggressive attack that may pay off for these two, because they've sat up. This gap is getting away. Gomez is looking around.
There's 13.
Fisher's not doing anything.
13 in the top group. Cameron Dye a little bit further back, and then you could pretty much write off anyone from Yorick van Egdom, Hauser, Amberger, Fabian, Hoy, Valencia, and Polyansky are all pretty much out of it. It's down to 13, and at the front, Ryan Bailey and Jake Birtwistle. And Birtwistle looks so good on that run, both in this and yesterday as well. It's going to be hard to chase him down if he has a good transition.
It's Benny Shaw on the back. He was running well yesterday. Benny seemed to be riding a bit better yesterday. He's definitely fatigued. There's the bell lap. Oh, great ride by these two Aussies. I get emotional for the young Aussies. I really love seeing them shine on a world stage. They are built for this style of racing. Such talent. We talk about the old days in Australia, but the current crop of Australian athletes is spectacular.
Yeah, don't cry, because you've got a lot of makeup on.
I know.
And we don't want it to run.
I just love seeing the Aussies.
Well, it's a huge credit to their coach, we have to say. I mean, it is also the coach of the women's Olympic champion, and this is something that they work on really hard. You know, their bike handling skills, closed circuits, and I think this is, you know, this is where the racing has gone in the last few years, and these athletes and their coach Jamie Turner has worked so hard to make sure that this is they have no sign of weakness, and this is a huge part, and as we can see, where huge gains can be made.
And they've pulled a 10-second gap going through transition with a lap to go, 10 seconds. And I'd hate to be giving Jake Birtwistle 10 seconds.
Behind them, Richard Varga, Richard Murray, Igor Polyansky, Ryan Fisher, Mario Mola, all there, Harvey Gomez, Henry Schumann. So if they are one of these two to win this, they're going to win it ahead of the cream of the crop of triathlon globally. It'll be a huge feather in the cap of either of these two to do that. I know Fisher, as we said, expects to be able to do that. Birtwistle, a little bit younger. He came second in Hamburg. He knows he can do it. But to take this one out, a very, very tough race at that, is a big confidence boost coming into day three.
I think he believes it as well. I think both of them do. I think they've worked so hard together, and like you said, they train together. They communicate that with each other on a daily basis, and this is something that they know what to do. I mean, you said it before. This felt like a training day to him yesterday, and I mean, many of the other guys just look completely broken. So. You said that maybe he's just talking confidence. I truly believe he believes in that confidence.
No, so do I. And we'll go to Robbie McEwen and we'll see who does well through transition. Robbie, two Aussies coming in, Jake and Ryan. Let's see how it plays out.
Well, Ryan has gone a little bit on the attack. He's just taking a slight gap. He's coming in to get those shoes on, flicks the bike around. Ryan Bailey, great attack, good gap. Can you hold him off?
I'm wrecked, but we'll give it a go, eh?
Well, he had more than a couple of words. I'm wrapped, we'll give it a go. Let's do this. He's all over it. Richard Murray, he's looking really controlled, got those shoes on. He knows the run is his thing, but here comes Mola. Gomez, he's been all over it this race. Blumenfeld still chasing them out. That is a really tight chase group, but it's Murray that's just going off the front of them. Birtwistle, though, going to be very hard to catch.
I don't know if that was I'm wrapped or I'm wrecked.
I'm wrecked.
I feel like it was I'm wrecked.
I'm wrecked.
Yeah, very optimistic there, Robbie McEwen was. Not wrapped, in fact, wrecked. And I saw that, well, it's got to be sponsor's product, but Richard Murray had time to put the Red Bull cap on.
But look at Richard Murray back in the back of screen. He's moved straight away from Gomez and Mola. Mola, the current world champion, one of the best runners I've ever seen on the circuit. He's moved straight to the front in pursuit of the two Australians.
He was only 11 seconds coming into transition there, so it'll be interesting to see at this turnaround. I mean, we can see him in the far back of the screen there. And he's used to attacking races. Richard's not always typically, in the Olympic distance racing, making front swim pack. So he is used to having to chase people down really really hard and really fast straight out of transition. So whether he is doing this right now and knows he needs to close that 10 seconds, 11 seconds down and get to the front and take the lead, because again, he's one of those guys that once he gets a sniff of the lead, he really does run with it.
And you have to pay for effort in triathlon, and that's one thing you have to know. You must pay for effort. When the two Australians went off the front on the bike, the effort goes through the roof, the heart rate goes through the roof. Murray sat all day, very, very tactically smart, and this is when it pays dividends for you. Your legs are fresher, you feel better, you can lift the heart rate up at your own pace, and you can really move down on tired athletes.
Looked like the pain face there from Jake Birtwistle didn't look quite as composed as before, but Ryan Fisher certainly had the Iceman face on. Every minute, though, every second, Richard Murray is taking a little bit more out of these guys. He's the consummate professional. You can see how close he is right now. He's really closed that gap up, and we know how good he was. We know how good he was yesterday, and he's got that same look in his eyes. You can see the back of these two guys, and he is now 2 seconds behind. He's gone from 9 seconds to 2 seconds behind in about 100 metres.
Yeah, well, that's in one lap is 400 metres of running, so he is moving a lot quicker than these two in front. We're going to see it right now.
His turnover, I mean, his legs, he's so relaxed in his shoulders and his hands. He just looks absolutely superb. And we're talking about probably one of Australia's best runners in triathlon, Jacob Birtwistle, who is just absolutely, like you said, gapped, and the speed in which he is leaving him behind is quite phenomenal.
Well, the pace is picked up. Birtwistle's tried to tag him, and that shelled Bailey off the back. Bailey's got to hang tough here because he'll be gobbled up quickly by Gomez. Look at that group, Gomez, Moeller and Blumenfeld.
Bailey will be looking now. Potentially he's thinking, instead of thinking of who's in front of him, he'll be also thinking about who's behind him. He wants that third step at the podium like he had yesterday. He wants that champagne spray he had yesterday. And suddenly, at what point do you stop thinking about who's in front of you and you start suddenly thinking, Javier Gomez is behind me. He's won 5 World Championships. That's what I've been thinking.
I've been thinking that, but these guys know, especially someone like Jake Birtwistle and Ryan Bailey, they've been following Javier his whole career. He's been a super talent, 5 world titles, Olympic silver medalist. He's incredible, and to have him chasing you down, coming down, and you've seen the videos, you know what to expect, but to grit your teeth and hang on, it's a great scalp to take. And Murray looks brilliant. Same as yesterday, so composed on the run. He just loves these hot dog run courses, the dead turns, his smaller legs. He de-accelerates and accelerates very, very well out of turns, and that's where he's opening up a lot of his gaps. Crisanto Grajales, they're one of the best runners in the sport.
Richard doesn't have a huge stride length. It's like you said, his turnover is quite a little bit higher. I mean, he's obviously not quite as tall as Jake, but I think that, like you said, that's really paying off for him when he comes into those turns, and it's you know, he doesn't have to slow down quite as much and regain that speed when you have a shorter stride length like that. It's that fast turnover, and it's also extremely cost effective, you know, for him, energy efficient wise. And
look at the pace at which he goes past Cameron Dye there.
Look at that. Cameron Dye was our leader. He started this race first. He's been lapped by this man again.
We dragged him up, Richard Murray, to the commentary box for a quick chat yesterday after the race, and he said, I knew there was time, because I asked, you were high-fiving people on the way in. You knew there was time. He goes, I knew that, but I knew also that I could have put 15 or 20 seconds on these guys on top of what I did if I wanted to redline myself. I had that much in the bank.
He's asking if there's one more lap to go. He's asking if there's a lap to go. I hope he doesn't mean no. He's going to make one more turn. Good move. Lap 3 or 4. It's his responsibility to know his laps. He's been told at each end the laps, but it's the athlete's responsibility to know the laps. And coming into Super League Triathlon, when the guys looked at this run course, none of them are used to these dead hot dog turns.
Ryan Bailey has been swallowed up by the pack, led by Javier Gomez and Christian Blumenfeld, Mario Moeller there as well, so plenty of big names around him. Igor Polyansky a further 7 seconds behind, and Richard Varga, who's made good time out of the water, he was 43 seconds back at the start of the day, is 21 seconds further back, but that's what we knew was going to happen, and Javier Gomez on the attack. He's 12 seconds behind. I don't know if he can get to Jake Birtwistle. He'll be hoping to hold him off.
It's critical for Bailey because Gomez is just behind him on the overall, so he needs to hang tougher. If he drops a few positions here, he'll lose those points and he'll lose that podium position in the overall after day 2.
That quick turnaround affording Jake Birtwistle a little look at how far ahead he actually is without having to turn his head too far. But there is absolutely no way to stop Richard Murray. We saw it yesterday as he heads towards the finish line. Richard Murray, the South African, the most flamboyant in the field, the most controversial in the field, definitely the best interview in the field, is going to do the job with that same far away look. What a run this is.
looked fantastic, but don't discount Jake in the background. I mean, he's certainly, obviously, not at the front of the race, but I tell you what, Richard Murray has made everybody look like they're in slow motion on this run.
He absolutely has. As he comes towards the finish line, a big crowd very happy to see Richard Murray do it once again. He's going to lift the tape. Richard Murray is the winner of our equaliser. He looks a little more tired than he did this time yesterday. Bert Whistle and Mola takes third ahead of Blumenfeld. Javier Gomez finishes in fifth. And behind them is Ryan Bailey. You can see Richard Murray has absolutely given it his all. He'll finish on 40 points and have a big lead heading into day 3. Christian Blumenfeld as well, a real fighter, and he deserves that 4th place. Great racing.
Tell you what, the turn of speed some of these guys have and the change in just finish position, it's going to make for some very interesting results at the end of this.
And that guy on screen right there, number 11, Poliansky, had a great day. Yesterday he was in the mix, but today he led that second swim, made a lot of moves, sat smart, young kid, a lot of talent.
Well, Rio bronze medalist as well, let's not forget, from South Africa, so...
Robbie, I think you've got the winner down there.
Oh, I have got the winner, the dominant athlete so far this weekend. 4 points yesterday. I spoke to you in transition, and you were very casual. I said, you're just going to control. You said, yeah, why not? Did the rest of the race go that easy too?
No, it was not easy. Jeez, that was hard, man. Each day is getting harder and harder. And Bailey and Bert Whistle, man, that was just going to run, give it to him. I mean, I had a good swim as well. I was really stoked with that. But I'm going to pay tomorrow, but for sure.
But you really got yourself back into it with the first swim-run combo. But when you took the lead, I mean, you were gradually pegging them back, but when you got to Bailey and Bert Whistle, you hit them with everything. Was that just psychological?
For sure, 100%. It's like road cycling, you know. You don't go fast slowly, you got to go fast and you got to drop a few gears, And I mean, that's exactly what I did. Young Bert Whistle was like literally stuck with me. I had to dig for it, and I was like, oh, this is much more digging than yesterday. But yeah, very happy with it. My legs were hurting on the hill, The guys were really going for it. And yeah, stoked with my swim, stoked with the crowd, stoked with everything, man. Super League rocks.
Now, just near the end, have you burned some brain cells? Because you were unsure how many laps to go. You were asking all over the place. Is it one more lap? You really wanted that to end, didn't you?
I was going so hard. I was like, surely this is the last lap. There can't be any more left. But geez, this 2K feels really long after the last 2 days and stuff. And yeah, super stoked. I mean, it wasn't as hot as yesterday as well, but it was definitely hard out there today for certain.
Starting to count the money, or are you still not counting your chickens before they hatch?
Never count your chickens before they hatch, or bet too early. Those two things you should probably not do. But yeah, definitely I go every day, as a new, and make myself prepared as possible for it, and see what the body's got on that day to land that peanut butter sandwich on the line. You got to go for it.
All right, well, go back, recover, get ready for the Eliminator tomorrow.
Cheers, thank you very much, guys. Cheers to all the supporters. Thanks.
Don't count your chickens before they hatch. I tell you what, you can buy a lot of chickens for $100,000, and I think a small part of his mind would be realising that he has got quite the lead now, and $100,000 could be in the bag. Super League rocks, certainly does. We saw plenty of pain in a group bath to finish
the
off.
ice bath, but isn't he a character? He's got not only is he raceful, he's got a lot of energy, a lot of character. A lot of the guys love him. They get on really well. The peers really enjoy them, and look at Josh.
I wonder who brought the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse blow up thing. All right, we're going to take a break right now as the guys cool off. We'll have the full results on the other side. That is the Equalizer. We hope you enjoyed it. We've got plenty more coming up after this.
Bodies on the floor at the end of the equaliser. We expected it and it delivered as well. Richard Murray takes it out 33 minutes 17. We thought it would take 39 minutes. That just shows you how good they are. Jake Birtwistle 5 seconds back. Mario Mola in the end breaking away from the pack and taking third position. But what a race that was. So many big names. But Richard Murray looks like he is in better nick than any of them.
He's in good form. He looks so easy, and that's what's been important. But I think tactically he's been very, very smart, sitting in the group and unleashing with his strength.
Look, the young guys have certainly given their turn out the front, and everyone's paying for it. I think the fact is that we saw him yesterday saying that he could have given more. Well, today I don't think he could have given anything more.
Alistair Brownlee, the resurgence as well, which was fantastic to see. He did very well. Dmitry Polyansky rounds it out in 20th position. And, geez, it looks nice from up there, but down on ground level, there's bodies in ice all over the place.
All sitting in that Mickey Mouse clubhouse. Richard Murray leading at 20 points. Jake Birtwistle still holding on to his second position, or moved up to second now.
No, that's the points from the equaliser only. 20 points for Richard Murray. Jacob Birtwistle will add to his tally with 18, and Mario Mola again at around the 16-point mark. And Javier Gomez, Ryan Bailey as well, Richard Varga all taking good points. As we see Cameron Dye, who led us off from the TT, end up with just 1 point, and how quickly things can change. It's a quick race, but gee, it broke people. Alistair Brownlee as well, as we're seeing there, only 1 point, so I'm not sure what happened there. Siggy Ragnarsson didn't make it in the end. Terenzo Bozzoni eliminated, and Brent McMahon as well, and they were very upset, especially McMahon. He's so experienced.
Oh, these guys have been around the circuit a few times, so he was certainly not in a happy place. Maybe use that frustration for tomorrow.
All right, it's podium time, and it's a little bit the same, it's a little bit different. Robbie, take us through the podium. Let's hear that champagne sprayed again.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to present the trophies to the superstars of Super League Triathlon. And presenting the Equalizer trophies today is Mr. Marcus Ericsson, Formula One driver of the Sauber F1 team. And presenting the champagne, Mr. Olivier Godard from Alice Hartmann Champagne, major sponsor of Super League Triathlon Arabia. And in third place, wearing the number 03 from Spain, let's hear it for Mario Mola. In second place, winner of yesterday, wearing the number 44 from Australia, Jake Birtwistle. And today's winner, a man who's become familiar with the top step, number 07, the South African and winner of the Equalizer, Richard Murray. And Mr. Olivier Godard will now present the champagne to our athletes. Bit of experience on this podium, getting the spray show happening. Champagne showers coming up for the victors of today's Equalizer of the Super League Triathlon Hamilton Island 2017. With just 1 day to go, here comes the recovery juice.
He is not present. As exuberant on the top step, Richard Murray, it looks like he really had to redline to hold off Jacob Birtwistle there, but he is a deserving winner, isn't he?
Well, he's not as fast as popping that cork on a champagne bottle as he was on the run course today, but he must be ecstatic. 2 days of racing, 2 wins for Richard Murray. Geez, he's in good form.
And Mario Mola as well, making a big move in the overall point standings. And how polite is he when he got up? He looked so polite, just happy to be there, didn't he?
If there's anyone that could ever look happier out there, it's always Mario. He's just always smiling, win or lose, and I think he just loves the sport. He loves being out there, having that opportunity to race.
What I'm enjoying as well is the consistency of Jacob Birtwistle as a young guy. The other 2 guys have obviously been there and done it, but Jake won the first stage yesterday. He featured all day today. He didn't have a poor leg, and it's showing in the overall standings. Richard Murray now with a 9-point gap. can be chased down, and if one man is going to do it, well, the world champion could do it. Mario Mola, Richard Varga as well will swim 3 times tomorrow, and he could be a big threat too. Ryan Bailey and Jake Birtwistle round out the top 5. As we move down from 11th, Alessandro Fabian moved from 5th to 11th. Matt Hauser as well there on 13 points. He's done well. Henry Schumann. Brent McMahon got eliminated. He's dropped to 8 points there. Josh Amberger had a tough day out too. He ends up on 5, and Cam Dye, who led us out, 2 points for Alistair Brownlee, who looked a lot better, but it just shows you how quickly things can change in Super League Triathlon.
He definitely was not where we thought he was going to be again.
Cam Dye led us off earlier. It seems like so long ago now. It was about 35 minutes in something new, something very new. And we've seen lots of firsts here at Super League. A little bit of clean water for everybody, but it didn't take long to bunch up.
And it was here you realised that young Jacob Birtwistle was going to have a great swim. He swam up on the Cameron Dye after giving him a 2-second start. Dye, one of the best runners, best swimmers in triathlon in the United States. And those 2 boys there on screen, the Australians were pushing from the beginning, really.
Oh, fantastic to see. I mean, as we've talked time and time again, just giving these athletes the opportunity to race the world's best, beat the world's best. And something completely new for them, but they are certainly taking it all in their stride.
Blumenfeld leading into the second swim, but a huge bunch all coming out at the same time, and there were a lot of big names deciding that the second swim was where they needed to press their claims, as we saw the pace increase and 3 men get eliminated. Richard Murray, though, decided to push early on the bike, and he dragged a decent bunch and a lot of big names with him.
Well, it was Javier Gomez that closed the gap on that bike ride, and I think he paid for it in the run. Murray sat very, very comfortably back here, and it was then that young Bailey attacked and took Birtwistle with him, trying to set up the run. I wonder if they were feeling a little bit of fatigue because they tried to escape, and I didn't think Jacob needed to do that, but obviously he didn't run with Murray.
Look, no doubt this is 24 hours after they first started competing or finishing yesterday. So, you know, there's going to be fluctuations in energy and their bodies and how they're feeling, but it's something they're also not familiar with.
I'm not sure whether it was a little bit of inexperience seeing them pushing too hard, or the knowledge and experience probably that Richard Murray needed to be gapped before the run because he looked so good yesterday.
They would have felt that yesterday. Yeah, he was running so well, and again today he moved through the field, and
the gap was just 5 seconds too big. They couldn't quite get that 5 seconds, and Richard Murray gave it all, and he's got a 9-point deficit to show for it, and potentially $100,000 in the back pocket. Not that he has a back pocket right now, but he'll find one big enough for that check. Anyway, we'll go down to Robbie McEwen right now, who is with another man who is very well known and had an up and down day, Alistair Brownlee.
Ali Brownlee, I mean, yesterday was a really rough day, but today you've come from 36 seconds behind, got yourself in the front group. It seems the legs are just starting to come around, but not quite there.
Yeah, yesterday was absolutely horrendous, and yeah, I really didn't know how today was going to go. Felt pretty bad this morning and been a bit lethargic all day. And set off on the swim and worked my way through the field with my mate Richard Varga. Pretty steady through the run, and then on the second swim I felt like I was kind of recovering. I was like, yeah, you know, I might be all right here, and just got on the bike, then got back up into the lead, back onto the lead group, into the top 3 or 4, and just kind of capitulated again. It's I think I'm just kind of struggling with that red line, you know. If I can keep it all right, but as soon as I go over the red line, I can't get it back at all, which is not normal for me, and obviously it really isn't good for this kind of racing.
But you're still strides ahead of where you were yesterday, so it must be quite a confidence booster to feel in day 2 after some really hard, intense racing, that you're starting to come through, and day 3 might hold even bigger things for you.
Well, I'm always known I'm a responder, but I think I need to respond at a titanic rate to get competitive by tomorrow. But maybe if this went on for 2 weeks, I might be competing for the podium in a fortnight's time.
Well, you've heard it here. Why don't we just make the Super League Tri Series 2 weeks long, and Ali will be in his element. Thanks very much, and all the best for tomorrow.
Thanks very much.
If we make it 2 weeks long, we won't have anyone left by the end of the first week, I think. But what a day it was, the Equalizer, and we look forward to the Eliminator tomorrow. I don't know how these guys are going to back it up again.
And the Eliminator may suit him. He's coming to a little bit more form. He did, as Robbie said, looked a lot better than he did yesterday. He got into that front bunch, and maybe he can steal a win in one of those races tomorrow.
I truly think this racing has even baffled him, which is good to see, and he totally admits that, you know, it's not a place he's ever been or ever felt, and it just goes to show you how far out of their comfort zones a lot of these guys are.
Tomorrow it is the Eliminator. Again, a 3-stage race like we saw yesterday with the triple mix, but this time it's swing, bite, run each time. If you finish near the back, we're going to see more eliminations, and it's going to be very, very difficult. What a day we've had. Looking forward to tomorrow?
Can't wait.
Can't wait indeed. What about you, Em?
Oh, I tell you what, this is just getting more and more exciting as the days go on, and I think we're going to be in for some more tomorrow.
Richard Murray, 9 points ahead. We look forward to the Eliminator and we look forward to welcoming you back to Hamilton Island.